Terrence Mitchell making a play and celebrating it with Malcolm Butler on the recovery of Mitchell's forced fumble after the catch by Colin Johnson. And Bailey Zappe makes his Patriots debut, the rookie from Western Kentucky. 4th round draft choice for the Pats, pick number 137 overall. So New England with a 7-3 lead here early in the second, and Zappe's going to throw a lob down the left side, and for Thornton, it lands incomplete, but another flag on the play with the contact downfield.
I'm not gonna like this call on the contact because the ball's underthrown, and Thornton really couldn't judge it in flight. Thornton's got to get a better beat on this ball to make this catch. You know, that's the advantage you have as a receiver. Defender has no clue where the ball is. They might pick this flag up and say it was not catchable.
John Hussey, we saw him last season a couple of times here in New England. A veteran official, and of course,
there are 2 fouls on the play, both by the offense. Holding number 72. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, offense number 11. That 10-yard penalty be enforced in the previous spot. First down.
So the rookie with a touchdown catch, and now his first NFL penalty, albeit in a preseason game.
You're going to see him. He's the inside receiver. Gets vertical. I don't understand that call at all either. Just 2 bad calls, you know, here early in this football game. A bad one on New York defending for taunting, and that's just a ridiculous call right there on offensive interference.
And now the Patriots have a first down and 20 from the 17 as a result. With Zappe to take the snap, throws it underneath, and hit immediately after the catch, Kevin Harris. The rookie back out of South Carolina.
Okay. Now you look at it from the rear angle. Thornton actually grabs, you know, pushes off on the face mask of the defender. So correct myself there. I understand why that was called. Didn't see it from this vantage point. Just saw him kind of slow down, pull up, and really didn't know where the ball was.
After a loss of 2 on the catch by Harris, now the Patriots pressed into a second down and 22, and Pierre Strong is in the backfield, motioning to the right hip of Zappe. He takes the shotgun snap and floats it to the near side for Wilkerson, off target. Well, Bailey Zappe got a lot of reps last week for the Patriots with Brian Hoyer absent from practice. And as we go down to the Bob's Discount Furniture studio and welcome in Paul Perillo, he was right there to see it all. Paul?
Absolutely. A big break for the rookie with Brian Hoyer missing all that practice time. That gave him a lot of reps, Bob. And I don't know how you guys felt about it. I thought he was pretty impressive. For a rookie, I thought he looked a lot like Mac Jones last year. Just in control of the offense. The ball was coming out in rhythm. Some accuracy issues at times, but this guy is definitely worth taking a look at tonight.
Yeah, that's the one thing, you know, he operated out of the shotgun, you know, pretty much all his collegiate career.
Yes. False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
But he does have a strong arm, Paul. You just saw, like, he missed wildly right there out in the right flat. I thought his first, he's got a little butterfly, his first NFL game. I thought he quickly got rid of that ball on the first snap to Thornton on the long one. But let's see if he could get in some sort of rhythm here. He's got to hit something short.
Yeah, definitely saw a little of that, Zoe. The accuracy can escape him at times, and that was one of the ones. Those out patterns were a little hit and miss in practice as well.
Down a 3rd down and 27 in the shadow of his end zone. Nearly sacked in his end zone. He's got to toss it away, and we'll see if there was a receiver close enough.
It should be to
avoid a grounding call.
There's no intentional grounding as the quarterback was out of the pocket, and the ball got to the line of scrimmage. 4th down.
I thought he was out of the pocket, then got back into the pocket. Okay, we'll take another look at this.
Let's see.
Okay, so, all right, he's outside the pocket to the right. Slides back into the pocket, but then it's a close one. The fact there's nobody in that general direction, that's one you kind of got away with there.
Well, back to Gillette Stadium, we opened by talking about a lot of the changes for the Patriots on the field. Certainly big changes here at the stadium itself. Opened in 2001, and another phase of the continual evolution of Gillette Stadium. A $300 million renovation ongoing to be completed next year. The lighthouse is gone for now.
Going to be a brand new lighthouse.
Bailey Zappe's got a second series to orchestrate for the Patriots, and he dumps it off down the middle with a catch there for a gain of 6. And
So
there's a look at how that project
That's going to be a separate entry.
when it's all done.
It's going to be a separate entry. You could get up to that new construction through that lighthouse, and this is going to be available to season ticket holders. You're going to be able to go there prior to the game. After the game, you're going to be able to stay there. Food's included, state-of-the-art, multi-level.
But again, Robert Kraft, who built this stadium in 2001, investing $300 million for the renovation project. Bailey Zappe bailing out on that throw off the back foot under pressure. Let it fly for little Jordan Humphrey, the former safe. He took a shot.
Yeah, he's feeling the pressure a little bit right here, which, you know, you're throwing off the back foot, just trying to get rid of the ball. It's one thing he's gonna have to find the speed at the next level, anticipating things, getting the ball out quick as you can.
Took a little shot there from Quincy Roach. Just to finish up the thought about that renovation project, which we'll talk more about next week. When it's all completed, not only will the lighthouse be, I believe, 28 stories high and give you a view of virtually a 3-state area, but there will be the largest outdoor video board in the United States, with that throw in and out of the hands of Kevin Harris.
You know, and that's something to say as far as the largest video board, considering the new video board that was put in the south end zone recently.
And rest assured, if you're watching one, there will be a portable video board here for the regular season.
Nice thing, you have all that space up there for a couple more Super Bowl banners. See the 6 of them up there. Started in 2001.
Oh, Paul Perillo watching things from the Bob's Discount Furniture Studios. He's seen Trent Brown up close.
I let Mike Reese do that. He's a little smaller than me.
It's like looking at the Prudential Tower for me, Ed Reese.
What do you like about the offense so far, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some moments here. One thing I'm finding really interesting, and I know we're beating a dead horse a little bit with who's calling the plays, who's doing what. It looked like Matt Patricia certainly was with Brian Hoyer. Now with Bailey Zappe in there, it looks like Joe Judge is doing a lot more of that communication too. So
yeah, I do agree.
My guess is Bill Belichick is going to keep us guessing all year long.
Zappe has Pierre Strong in the backfield. He gives it to him, and Strong runs it up the middle for no gain.
See, that's part of the, I don't want to say disadvantage, but once you get into these preseason games, you get a multitude of guys going in and out, the amount of substitutions, which sort of prevents you from getting into any sort of rhythm. And you can talk more about Joe Judge there, Paul.
Yeah, you know, and he's a guy that when it's been 7-on-7, he's running the show when Matt Patricia is over with the offensive lineman. So it's really been hard to sort of get a gauge on the practice field exactly what's going on. But I think there's a lot of communication. And by far and away, Bob, you can attest to this. This is the most we've ever seen Belichick spend on the offensive side of the ball.
Zappe looking for a back shoulder connection with Trey Nixon. And again, off target. Really off time there, with the Patriots now to face a 3rd down and 10. Yeah, no question about it. Bill usually wanders really to every position group, but by far more time on the offensive side thus far this training camp as you look at the offensive staff.
Yeah, you can see Joe right there pressing the button. He's making the call. There's Matt jotting down some notes as, you know, he's got to continue to work with the offensive line. But again, back to Coach Belichick. I'm with you. I've never seen him move as much. Usually he's twirling the whistle, standing on the side, overseeing things, but very involved this year offensively.
Bailey Zappe with a 3rd down and 10 now in his 3rd series of the night. The rookie from Western Kentucky throws it to the far side, and he finds Christian Wilkerson. Nice catch by Wilkerson. Tight roping there with a gain of 11 out to the 38.
Yeah, that ball had to have some spin on it right here. And there's Wilkerson, top of your screen. It's just a deep comeback. Dangerous throw right there. It seems like Zappe's been struggling with some of the outside stuff, and you understand why. I'd get him back in rhythm. Keep him between the numbers. You know, that's where you make your bread and butter in this offense, right over the middle of the field.
The give to Strong. And he burrows his way out to the 42-yard line. A rush of 5 by the rookie from South Dakota State.
That's a good pickup, though, on 3rd down. I mean, that's a good, strong throw. Defender had a pretty good beat on that ball. It's one thing you want to do, man. Just Get out there, get in rhythm, move the sticks. It's not about the points. It's can you move your football team.
Zappe had eye-popping numbers both at Houston Baptist and in his one season at Western Kentucky. 6,000 yards a year ago for the Hilltoppers. He didn't operate a pro-style offense. He was in that air raid. He fires the back shoulder left, incomplete. As he tried to find Josh Hammond, and we reached the 2-minute warning here at So Brian Hoyer with a good start this evening for the veteran quarterback. Led the Patriots to an early drive and the lead before the Giants. Here in the second quarter, which means we're closing in on halftime of the Geico Halftime Show with Steve Burton, our celebrated birthday boy, on the sideline this evening. Yeah, Pats from the past.
Or people wishing him happy birthday.
Steve, of course.
Get you back to Gillette in just a minute. The other game going on tonight is Tennessee and the Baltimore Ravens. And look at the rookie quarterback for the Titans, Malik Willis, the third-round pick out of Liberty, shaking some people on a scramble and getting in the end zone. He's also 4 of 7 throwing for 83 yards. We'll see you at the half.
And he is brought down by Trenton Thompson. And the timeout taken with 1:53 to go. The Patriots looking at the 4th down and 5.
Charge timeout, New York Giants.
Hey, for early in camp, preseason game number 1, not a lot of contact for both teams. You can only hit so many days. You can only be in full pads. That's some pretty good physical plays on special teams in the kicking game. Not only the punt game, kickoff coverage. You know, and you're limited in what you can do kickoff coverage too. You can't have that running start. Patriots got called for, illegal formation on the 1, but clean some things up and you're getting some penetration in.
Difficult first half for Bailey Zappe in his Patriots debut, 3 for 9 passing. After relieving Brian Hoyer, early movement by the right guard of the Pats. It appeared Bill Murray's trying to convert after 2 years on the practice squad as a defensive lineman.
Offense number 62. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That'll kill you. 1st and 15 now.
Let's get to the Optum injury report, and we'll focus on the offensive line. Isaiah Wynn pegged in as the right tackle of the Patriots. Out of practice yesterday, Dalton Keene has continually had problems as a tight end.
He's got to find a way to get out of that tub.
First down and 15 for Zappe and company. And again, he's backed up deep in his own end as he takes the snap. He's looking to throw a long ball down the left side. Back shoulder for Nixon. Cleared the way for separation and has a first down out to the 47.
Now, this is a really nice job by Nixon. Now, Zappe gives him a catchable ball because he's actually covered here. He's going down the boundary. He finds the ball in flight.
Illegal contact, defense number 37. That penalty is declined. First down, result of the play.
So a couple of illegal contacts already called here, just in 2 quarters of football. But that's a nice job by Nixon, who we talked about at halftime. Yeah. He's got to make some plays here in the second half after the drop earlier in the game.
And he just made one for 36 yards, and the Patriots, again, down by the 10-7 score in the opening possession of this second half. Now the 1st and 10 from the New England 47. Harris in the backfield, counter handoff, and he is stuffed. Dropped in the backfield, in fact, with a loss of 1.
That's one thing that you sort of notice here through 2 quarters of play. You really can't tell during the practices, but there's an emphasis on, I think, attempting to get the ball downfield, push the vertical game. That's something they weren't able to really do last year. I mean, other than the one Aguilar deep catch against the Chargers, there weren't many deep plays down the field. You had the one early in the year against the Cowboys with Bourne, but more of those deep plays, vertical plays, that'll help this offense.
Zappe with a quick throw out on the right flat, caught by little Jordan Humphrey, extending to the 48. We're talking about the vertical plays. Paul Perillo, we have seen some of that thus far in training camp practices.
Yeah, it's absolutely been an emphasis. I think even going back to the spring, Bob, we saw Trey Nixon make a lot of catches down the field. Jonnu Smith, another guy they've gotten the ball down the field to in some of the OTA work. And I wonder if some of the zone stuff, the outside zone reads, which we haven't really seen much of tonight, or, Zoe, you could talk about this. Maybe some of those hard play action with the half boot, I think those are done with the idea of getting the ball down the field.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. Nice little flip by Zappe right there. Off the play fake, underneath to the tight end. And
13 yards
the deep stretch.
Free.
Yeah. And Zappe does a nice job. Stepping up in the pocket, just spins it, kind of just flips it out there to him. And this is something you're going to have to do, as a young quarterback where things are sort of collapsing around you. You're dealing with a lot of players on offense, a lot of substitutions.
Looking at a 1st down and 10 here with the give to Harris. And again, dropped at the line of scrimmage, setting up a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, but going back to what Paul said, too, we talked about that in some of the production stuff. The ability of a guy like Thornton to run through coverage and where you get him on that short motion off the deep play fake, and now defenses sort of have to back off. Once you start hitting those deep things, that's going to open up those deep drag routes.
And so many of these have been the back shoulder kind of plays, just like, the adjustment right there that we saw Nixon make. They've done that a ton, throughout the summer.
2nd down and 9 snaps. Giants with a blitz and a throw down the right side. Again, going vertical. Nice. And a catch by Nixon with a 1st and goal to go coming up for New England.
All right, that's 2 really good boundary catches by Nixon here. Look at the body control. You take a look at him. He stems the defender, gets up, and Zappe just puts the ball a little bit behind to where it's a catchable ball. These are good throws by Zappe. The player is defended. It's really not open. So what do? Do we complicate it, throw the ball to bounce? No. Shorten the throw, give him a catchable ball. Nixon does a good job with the balance there at the bottom.
Good throw and the adjustment of the Patriots with a 1st and goal to go from the 8. Zappe under center. Harris takes the handoff, runs it right. And he's dropped at the 3. Leading rusher in the SEC 2 years ago for South Carolina. Last year hampered by a back problem even before the season began. One of the 2 running backs the Patriots picked up in this year's draft.
Look at these backs. Carolina, obviously Damian Harris, Alabama, Oklahoma with Stevenson, all against, good conference opponents where, it's just tough yards.
Zappe goes back under center on the 2nd and goal to go give. And Harris this time lowering the shoulders up the middle with a dive. And a touchdown, Patriots!
Just chipping away at that big lead. But just like your ultimate 3rd down back, one of the best screening backs I've ever seen.
Bailey Zappe back up for the Patriots with the give, and bouncing off contact, Pierre Strong with that run with a gain of 4. Paul Perillo again in our Bob's Discount Furniture studio. Let's talk about the Patriots running back group. Now, of course, James making his retirement announcement today. Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson become the leaders in that room. Your thoughts on those other guys?
Well, obviously, I think Stevenson's really primed for a great year. I thought the way he finished last year puts him in position to be right there with Damian Harris. But the question is, where do you get the production from White? I think it's going to be Ty Montgomery. I think he has that kind of versatility. I think he has the ability to catch the ball. He's a wide receiver by trade, but played a lot of running back in the NFL. He's the versatile kind of guy that I think Belichick always is drawn to. And I think he gives them a little bit more of an element of being able to run the ball in some of those 3rd down situations where maybe as productive as James White was, I don't think he was as much of a threat as a pure running back, out of the backfield as he was catching the ball. But with James White, I just want to reiterate what you guys said. Just the consummate professional, one of the most pleasant guys to deal with in that locker room in 24 years. There's been a lot of good guys, but he's really at the top of the list.
Yeah, Paul, I was thinking today of all the good players and great Patriots we've had the privilege of covering in my decade around the team. None have been greater than James. And this is a team that's had a lot of them. It's important to emphasize. But you talk about someone who I think kind of defined who he is, just the way he answered questions with that laugh and a smile. Yep. He was always in that great frame of mind, and especially despite so much adversity the last couple of years for him and his family. And a leader on the field, off the field, profound impact on the young players in that room, and Ramondre Stevenson would be a guy that first comes to mind.
Coach said it too today, that just the impact that he had on just the captain meetings. He's such a quiet player, but he led by such example. And Bill said Ramondre would not have had the year he would have had last year if it wasn't for James. He's so impactful, for his rookie season, just to show him leadership, the way you worked out, just the way you carried yourself as a pro. Probably going to be a Patriot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, everybody remembers the Super Bowl, obviously. He had another playoff game against the Chargers, I think, in 18. 15 catches for 100 yards. I mean, he just so many big plays over the years.
Zappe going deep.
Another one.
With a throw down the left side, broken up as he trying to connect with Christian Wilkerson.
Patriots sideline looking for some contact on the call here, but Wilkerson, it's a double move, gets by him. And see the ball's a little underthrown here. The ball hangs. So the defender doesn't know where the ball is, but it's close. But see, I mean, I don't want that called every time. But if it's an egregious bad throw, should be called on the defender.
Zappe was 6 for 6 for 98 yards.
So I think Bill disagrees.
In his last 6 attempts. And now looking at a 2nd down and 10 from the 43. Takes the snap again, looking to wing it. Checks it down across the middle. The catch is made by Trey Nixon. A good second half for him, and that's a gain of 4 out to the 47-yard line. That running back position group, again, with White's retirement coming off the injury last year in Week 3 versus New Orleans, there was a big question coming in. Who could be insurance if James White was unable to go? Now we know he's unavailable.
Right.
And Pierre Strong is a player from South Dakota State as a rookie who came into the league, reputed to have good receiving skills. Damian Harris has shown an ability this training camp to catch the ball. Stevenson, we know, can do it.
Yeah, and I think one thing, going back to the Ty Montgomery discussion, I don't know if he's here if you didn't have the Cordell Patterson experience. Like, I don't know if Bill would view it that way. Now, I know he respects him. He's guy's been around the league. He's returned kicks. He's caught passes. He's obviously ran out of the game. There's going to be games, tough divisional games. We're going to need 3rd and 4 pickups. He's got to make catches like that.
Yeah, I would agree, Zoe. That's a big one. And he didn't come back, as you challenged him at halftime, Zoe, too. And he came up big. He made some big plays here in the 3rd quarter. But I think Bill Belichick would probably look back at that first opportunity that he had in the first half on the 3rd down, 3rd and 3 or 4, quick out. That's one that you got to have. And I think he's redeemed himself a little bit here. I'd like to see him get some more opportunities as a returner as well. He's been doing a lot of that in the summer.
Yeah, Paul's right. Like, the player's going to feel good about the 2 long catches. But when you get in meetings tomorrow, first thing Bill's going to show him is the drop on 3rd and 4.
And Wilkerson with another catch. He's had a good night this evening for the Patriots with his experience from a year ago. There's another flag on the play, the rush up the middle. With the 2nd and 1 forthcoming. Nixon again, a player drafted by the Patriots a year ago with Ernie Adams on the verge of retirement. Bill Belichick allowed him to make that last pick.
He's got some size to him. That's the thing. Like,
he's got some quickness.
He can run. And he can absolutely run.
He's worked extremely hard. He spent time on both coasts this year with Mac Jones and teammates. Did a lot of extra throwing.
Number 83 and 17, 2-men in motion at the same time. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
The 17th accepted penalty of the game is in the books. Busy night for John Hussey. But the thing about a guy like Nixon or Wilkerson, that's a crowded receiver room.
Very
start to go down the list of receivers.
Very crowded.
Right now led by Devontae Parker. Well, the newcomer from the Dolphins, Paul. Yeah, for one of those guys to make the team, there's got to be an opening.
Yeah, you wonder if one of the veterans, might go too. We haven't seen really any of those guys tonight. So I think Nelson Aguilar's had a pretty solid camp. But, his contract situation last year of his contract, Jacoby Myers, I think, has also been pretty productive in camp. And he's on the restricted free agent tender, so he'll be a free agent as well. So there's going to be opportunities. My guess is they're going to do their best to keep these guys at least in the system in some way. But active roster, there might only be room for one of those guys, Nixon or Wilkerson. And, I think Nixon has been a little bit more impressive so far this summer.
Yeah, and I'm with Paul, too. I think Parker being here, Devontae Parker being here from the offseason, I think it's sort of kicked Aguilar into it a little bit. And I think Aguilar has responded well here in camp. But say you're a young player like Nixon. Even if you don't make it here, you make plays like this in a game. That gets you on film. That gets you noticed. Continue to do things in joint practices starting next week. People around the league start talking about you, and you're going to have a job.
You got to look at Aguilar, and there's Nixon, of course.
3rd quarter.
As the saying goes, you're not just playing for your team, you're playing for all 32. Here at Gillette Stadium. Young fans out in abundance this evening. You get the younger families out on nights like this in the preseason.
Yep.
And they're having a great time. It doesn't matter what the score is. Right now, the Patriots are trailing 17-14, trying to regain the lead.
It's like one of those
Bailey Zappe back out their quarterback to start the 4th quarter. Throwing it left flat, and it's gathered in with a nice spin move by little Jordan Humphrey. He's got a couple of catches on this series, and he's brought down along the near side by Khalil Dorsey.
You know, Zappe, his arm slot, he'll change it. You know, it's over the top. He completed that one pass, you know, prior to the end of that third quarter. He slid to his left and sort of sidearmed it across the middle of the field. Flipped this one out, almost sidearm, right out to the side.
Well, he's changed things up with his arm slot. He's also changed things up with his numbers first half to second half. And you talked about it at halftime. Wanted to see him come out in the third quarter and play well after struggling in the first couple of series for him, and he did just that. 10 of 11 in the third after a 3-for-9 first half. There's a give and straight ahead on the run, Kevin Harris. Patriots with that rush to the 41. Now looking at a 4th down and a 2 with an injured player.
Is that Kajust?
I believe it is Yadni Kajust.
Yeah, that is.
Played by injuries, coming out of West Virginia early in his Patriots career. Right now, here in this preseason opener during the timeout, Joe Judge continuing the education of a rookie alongside head coach Bill Belichick, talking to Bailey Zappe.
That's one thing you know since the end of that first quarter. You know, I thought Matt Patricia really involved in that first unit. They're calling things. It seems like it's been Joe Judge from the point Bailey Zappe came into this game till now, and you know, Bill's been doing a good job overseeing the whole thing.
Zappe, the 6th quarterback the Patriots have drafted since 2014, and again a lot of reps last week with Brian Hoyer missing several days in a row because of an illness, and now Zappe and company try to convert on a 4th and 2. Kajust, by the way, walked off on his own power. A throw to the middle, and it's deflected and intercepted. Good play by the Giant, dropping off the line with the interception by Austin Calitro, the former Villanova Wildcat, who grew up as a Giant fan, making a play for the team he watched as a kid.
Nope, and that's that's second level backer right there. I thought it was defensive line. No, that's the tough part with Zappe when you know, like we're just talking about arm slot, but it's sort of sidearm right there. Yeah, you're not coming over the top. You can see Judge talking to him now. We're talking about the over and under on that one.
First down and 10 for Zappe in the pass. Here in the 10-minute mark, throws the back shoulder. Wilkerson makes the catch, snagging the dart. And a first down reception out to the 42-yard line.
That's a pretty throw, because the ball's out before he's even in the break right here. You see Wilkerson turn, and the ball's on the back shoulder, and Bailey Zappe spins this one. That's a feel throw right there. You don't really teach that. You got to be able to do that. You got to have a feel for that. That's a really good throw, and he's had a lot of those probably over his college career. Obviously, outstanding numbers.
62 touchdown passes in 14 games last year for Western Kentucky, his only year in the FBS level. Takes the snap, and there's a give and a push off the right side. Pierre Strong living up to his name with that gain of 5.
You know, supposedly was not on the radar, you know, with all the numbers that he put up the first 3 years. Transfers to Western Kentucky, and that's sort of where he popped.
Houston Baptist got a chance, like so many, to take advantage of his opportunity in Mobile, Alabama at the Reese's Senior Bowl. And one guy was really on Bailey Zappe right from the start on the draft run-up this year, former NFL GM Randy Mueller, one-time Executive of the Year. He said he thought Bailey, if he were a couple of inches taller, would be considered the second best quarterback in the draft behind Kenny Pickett of Pittsburgh. He takes the snap here, steps up, shovels it across the middle, and it should have been intercepted.
Too careless with that one. Yep. See, he falls up a really good throw. Was sort of one of those errant ones where he kind of pushes it off the side, tries to guide it in there. That's where you get in trouble.
A bit curious how that will be coached in the days ahead, because we never saw that kind of change of arming. We see it a lot with other quarterbacks.
Yep.
We didn't see it here for so long, and really Mac is kind of the textbooks form, it seems.
Oh yeah.
Generally when he throws.
More of a tactician, yeah. And this tends to be more of a gamer type throw to me. Remember Garoppolo would do some of that stuff too.
Third down and 5 for the pass from the 47, down by the 20-14 score. Under 9 minutes to go here in the fourth. Zappe joined by Harris. He's throwing the back shoulder again for Nixon. And this time denied by Heslop. There is no call on the play. And the Patriots will have to punt.
Yeah, it's a legal contact thing. As it moves forward, it's going to be a point of emphasis. It's going to be a tough one right here. And you can see him get vertical here up to the boundary again. Does Nixon. And you see the defender gets contact. There's contact. Yeah, it's a good defensive play. It's a good no call. But I can see that getting called in the regular season. You know, we're down in Miami, and that's Tyreek Hill week 1. Does he get that call?
Ontario native Jake Julian, CFL draft pick, pumps it away. And his kick angle to the near side. It's going to take a bounce out of bounds, and that is angled beautifully with little Jordan Humphrey down there for the Patriots. Into the coffin corner, just outside the 5, inside the 10 to be marked at the 8. 45 yards on that well-placed punt. 8:36 to go in the 4th, 20-14. Giants with the lead over the Patriots. Your Toyota drive of the game. Second touchdown series for the Pats. 8 plays, 84 yards. And a big drive for Trey Nixon.
And Nixon making some good catches right there. And of course, you get the strong running from Harris. But again, here's the second big catch of that drive. Showing some good balance down the boundary. And a good push right up the middle.
And on that drive, Bailey Zappe, the rookie quarterback, was 4 for 4 for 81 yards. And the Giants now their worst starting field position of the night. And a give to Antonio Williams, brought down on the rush of 6.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Mac to sit there. You know, all quarterbacks want to play. You know, yeah, you get the itch to play, especially a young guy. You know, second year wants to get out there, open it up, show the fans what he can do, show himself what he can do. It's his team.
Davis Webb again with a give, and this time there is nothing inside, maybe a yard and a half for Williams. Good play up front for the Patriots. Sam Roberts, one of those rookies.
Going back to this offense and, you know, the ability to push it now. And if this is points of emphasis, really excited to see what Matt can do with these guys. Guys like Bourne and, you know, Parker. You know, sit back, 5-step drop. Let's go vertical.
Well, maybe it suits a guy like Aguilar far better than a year ago, where we really didn't see him have the kind of success he had with Las Vegas the previous year.
It's not a double read. You know what route you have. It's now streamlining it.
3rd and 2 from the 16. Webb throws, deflected pass, flutters incomplete. So the Patriots with a good series there. Second 3 and out of the evening, deep in Giants terrain to force a Gillen punt. Return team coming out. They've gotten a spark this evening from Miles Bryant. Now J.J. Taylor trying to provide the same. Gillen, the native of Scotland. Saw him as a Cleveland Brown.
Scotland, William Wallace.
And he delivers the punt. The Scottish Hammer drives it inside the 30 to the 25. Good move by Taylor to escape. And J.J. runs it back across the 30. 58-yard punt on the 5-yard return by Taylor. So we saw the defense with another good series, but again, the subject du jour every day, Paul Perillo, has been offense. Offense, offense, offense. Let's talk about it. Patriots 7:12 to go here in the 4th quarter, trailing 20-14. And again, it's been a mix of the good and bad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we didn't get to see a lot of the guys that we've been focusing on at practice every day. But I thought, you know, Zoe, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on Zappe in the second half. I felt he kind of settled into the pocket a little bit. Everything looked like it was going really fast for him at the end of that first half, and he was running around. I thought he did a better job of hanging in the pocket in the second half.
Yeah, and here's another throw to Wilkerson to the outside. Oh, you're gonna get a face mask here, and shot to the head. Either a shot to the head or a face mask. But right there, good accurate throw to the sideline. But like you said, decisive, Paul. I think he's got a better feel in the pocket. I thought a couple throws early in the game he got rid of before he wanted to. There's Wilkerson tiptoeing.
Yeah, there you go.
Mask.
Right there.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 59. 15-yard penalty at the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
That's 21 yards in all with the completion and the penalty. And
Yeah, and if you could just get him to sort of settle in, you know, maybe tighten up some of those loose throws. And we've seen it. You know, Bob and I watched this kid. The ball comes out on time, and you made the comment just now, Zoe, about decisiveness. And you've seen that virtually every day. He doesn't pull the ball down and take off a lot on the practice field, which a lot of young guys do. When they don't see it, they get out of there. And he stands in there, gets on the back foot, and the ball's out. The accuracy problems have come up here and there.
Another one he got in right there. Another good throw.
Yeah. Wilkerson making that catch. A little bit of a juggle on the sideline, but sticking with it for the grab in front of Heslop.
Now he's completed. Sorry, Paul, but like he's completed several comebacks. One was a long one early to Wilkerson on that left side. This is a short side one. But again, here we go in no huddle.
And now he's getting a chance to run that no huddle. We saw Mac Jones do that in the third quarter of games last year in the preseason. And this rookie, who going back to his college experience with play interrupted, so when he was in college, he didn't work under center.
Challenges real quick. Go ahead.
We're going to get challenged from Brian Daboll here on the catch by Wilkerson. But like Jimmy Garoppolo, who came from Eastern Illinois in a similar system.
New York is challenged in rolling on the field with a completed catch.
Zappe, who played under the same coordinator at Houston Baptist and Western Kentucky, how do you explain the kind of quantum leap he's got to make? From college to the NFL, it's a big jump. If you're coming from the SEC, he's coming from Western Kentucky.
Yeah,
and he's also coming from an offense that's totally foreign to what he's doing in the NFL.
Yeah, there's some quarterbacks, you know, that can play at Alabama for 3 years, won a couple championships, that really can't make that next jump to the NFL. This is going to be a tough one. I think he was juggling it as the left foot hits the white. Let me see. It's right foot down. I think the ball's coming out, and the problem is he doesn't get the left foot down off the second
if he drags it.
Yeah, it's that left toe. Who's the quarterback I'm thinking? Won a couple national championships, went to Cincinnati.
McCarron.
KJ McCarron. Everybody thought, man, he could be the next best thing coming out just because you win a lot in the SEC. And, like, look at the success a guy like Garoppolo's had. You know, never had a playbook in college, but in a regular season, you know, Jimmy's a winner. He'll get you there. Maybe not get you over the top, but play well enough in the league to make a lot of money, stick around. And guys like Brian Hoyer, you know, how many years Brian Hoyer's played in the league, how many teams he's played.
You know, and the flip side of it is a guy like that, and you know, we've been told this by people around the game and around the team, that you know, some of the bad habits aren't there when you're trying to teach them from the start. Like, this is how you take a snap under center. This is the footwork you need to execute in dropping back.
And part of the problem with the size, and with some of these guys, is that's their natural motion that they've had to adapt the game because they're not a big 6'5", 6'7" guy, and everything's not over the top. That we kind of got to slide up, and we got to sidearm one, or we got to kind of guide one in. Sometimes you have to let that go, and every guy's different. You know, it's nice to have, you know, your starter, your backup sort of be the same and understand the offense. But
after review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It is a completed catch. The New York Giants will be charged with timeout, and this is their first challenge of the game.
So the first challenge in Brian Daboll's career for the NFL head coach.
I would not blame Daboll for challenging that. Like, you could see the ball sort of, you know, being juggled off the second toe.
You know, guys, for Zappe, I go back to Brian Hoyer missing all that practice time at the start of camp. I think that was a really really beneficial for a rookie to get all of those reps as the #2 guy. These are the guys he was throwing to. You know, a lot of Nixon, a lot of Wilkerson. Nice run here for Pierre Strong up the gut, too. And I think he really benefited from some extra reps that maybe he wouldn't have gotten if all three of those guys were out there.
And that's the big thing, even going back to last year when Cam was away from the team for a couple days.
Yep.
Because of the health issues, that that's where Mac really made that big jump.
It's a good cut by Strong, and then the hole. Now Zappe able to escape on the rollout, keeps it alive for Wilkerson. A catch along the far side, and Christian fights free. And gains a good extra 4 yards on the lunge.
Yep.
And meanwhile, you've got an injured Patriot, Justin Herron, writhing in pain, back outside the 35-yard line.
Yes, this does not look good for Herron. Looks like the right knee, but let's Zappe step out of it here. And he's done this a couple times tonight. You know, everything's breaking down. He slides out, keeps the play alive. And he's got a pretty good rapport with Christian Wilkerson. I think that's what's developed here over the course of the game, too. A couple nice throws to Nixon. But Wilkerson keeps the play alive, spins, drives, and it reaches for the first down. Or attempts to.
A 6'1", 201-pound receiver. Heron immediately grabbing for that right knee. We've already seen could just have to leave, albeit on his own power, with a knee issue.
I don't know if he got leg whipped by his own guy or rolled up. Let's get him up on his feet here. That'd be a good sign.
Third-year player out of Wake Forest.
There you go.
That's a good
great.
sign, at least right there.
He dodged a bullet there. Oh, this is interesting here, too. You know, Zappe, during the injury timeout here, goes to the sideline. And it's Bill talking to him.
In the 62 touchdown passes a year ago, again, in 14 games, dominating the leaderboard. Not only winning that touchdown title, if you will, by all those TDs, 15 of them.
Yeah, 15.
He was the FBS leader in passing yards by more than 1,000 yards.
15 to 19, or 169 yards so far.
Now he's got a second down and 1 for the Pats as he takes the snap. Throws it to the end zone for Hammond. Incomplete. There's another ball where he's trying to fade it toward the pylon.
I think that's a pretty good throw considering, you know, where the player was, where he could go up and get it. Let's go back down to Paul.
Hey, real quick, guys, you know, a lot of people might not think too much. He's got a lot of backups in here, but Heron and Kajust are two pretty important guys. You have Trent Brown and Isaiah Wynn, you know, your projected starting tackles. Both of those guys have dealt with a lot of injuries over their careers. Wynn is out right now dealing with something physical, so you might not think that these are the kinds of guys that you're going to really miss if they're missing any significant time in the regular season. Really good sign to see both of those guys walk off under their own power.
That's a good point.
Third down and 1. It's a quarterback sneak. And a surge straight ahead, a first down for New England. Paul, thanks so much. We'll see you out on the practice field. We'll see you next week.
Good job, Paul.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
In the Bob's Discount Furniture Studio. Game clock approaching 5 minutes, and now Bill Murray, a lineman, is injured.
Yeah, this is pretty much a first time where you got a lot of bullets flying around you at full speed, where, you know, maybe in camp and in practice and some of the walkthroughs and you're staying up and you're not full pads to sort of take care of each other, but it's kind of hard to do when guys are getting rolled up all along.
Patriots decided to move Murray to the offensive line this summer after he played D-line the first couple of years in the practice squad. He had a great game against the Giants last year in the preseason finale, a sack and a half in that game. And he's a young man who is back behind the practice fields, at least during training camp, day after day, for extended periods of time, trying to refine technique to make the team. Throw to the near side and off the shoulder pad of Nixon, a bit high and off the mark, but nonetheless a ball for the second time this evening Trey Nixon cannot handle.
That's one that's sort of a shorter pass that was thrown about 95 miles per hour. Like, take a little off that one.
So following here, but another hurry up for the Patriots. Second down and 10 snaps to Bailey from the 20. Rears back, fires it low for Hammond on the back shoulder.
You can tell he feels pretty comfortable with Wilkerson and Nixon. And he just can't get on the same page, you know, with Hammond.
And meanwhile, there's a look at Matt Jones. I don't know how much weight of muscle he put on. He certainly
looks like a different guy to me.
Came in a lot slimmer, a lot sleeker.
His face is chiseled.
Good weight.
Growing his hair out.
More angular.
Yep.
Despite his own ice cream for a short time, passing out the Mac Attack ice cream at Hood Park earlier this year.
Did you go down for something?
I did not get the memo. Didn't make it there, which was good for me. As much as I love ice cream. There's a throw to the end zone, caught by the backpedaling Humphrey. Touchdown, Patriots.
Kid's a little bit of a gamer, man. Does a nice job because the blitz comes. And you can see that the line tries to cut it down. But they get in there and they still get the pressure on Zappe. But you can tell that there's a middle of the field that's vacated. You got a vertical going right up right here. Right up here. We got a lot of space. He gets by that first guy, Zappe sees it, puts it up to where only his guy can see the ball. And that's a good job shielding the defender from the football and making the catch. Nice job by Zappe, moving the team again.
Bailey Zappe engineering a 9-play, 69-yard drive in 2:21. Vizcaíno on for the point after try. The snap is in place. His kick airborne to the uprights, and it's good. This guy, you know, a well-traveled kicker with his 7th tee. Very good on field goals in brief opportunities. Struggled on extra points in the past. Now he converts after this throw by Zappe to Humphrey.
It's nice concentration. You underestimate the type of concentration you need there by Humphrey to just, you know, the defender's there, the hands in the middle, but you stay with the football. Trust it's going to get there, make the catch, secure it. There you go. It's good seeing the quarterback room get in there.
Patriots offense with Zappe, the rookie, following Hoyer. Mac Jones has been in it from the sideline from the start. Now get a chance to sit next to the rookie. And these guys look very happy tonight with good reason after that series.
I think Mac's more excited about the song that's playing right now. Is Zappe feeling good about himself right now? That's great for that kid. Your first NFL game action. Get out there, move the team. You know, offense has obviously been talked about a lot throughout camp. You know, you get out there. And we saw Brian Hoyer do it earlier in the game, and Bailey Zappe picks up right where Brian Hoyer left off.
Okay, and Mac Jones is going to get his work next.
Oh, yeah.
Joint practices versus Carolina.